Second, we'll give people a few more minutes to come in. Hey, Rosalind. How are you? Are you better?
Hi, Dacia. I am much better. I'm still not there, but getting there. How are you?
Good.
Good. I'm still looking a hot mess, so I ain't coming on camera.
No worries. Hello, I hope I'm saying it correct. Sharice?
Hey, how you doing? Yes, that's it,
Good.
Sharice.
Cool. Welcome,
Well,
ma'am.
I'm
I
sorry,
think
I'm
this is
driving.
oh, no worries. I think this is my first time seeing you on the call with us. Well, welcome, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
People be late and they be like, wait a minute. Send me the link. I'm about to go in the Facebook group and put it
I just want
there.
to say I'm so happy you're back.
Thank you. I am happy to be back, actually. For sure, I am. Ooh, because
I do, and I'm happy. That's why I'm right here with you.
yay. And, but we going to start with it without them in 1 second. I'm sending this last message out. And we going to start. Oh, maybe I should share. Okay. So we have, hello, Sheila. Welcome.
Hey Daisy, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good.
Oh, baby, I ain't brought no light. Why would the blind come down with no light? What? Um, but we are going to start. First, I'm going to say that our very first fam trip, I'm taking this myself, our very first fam trip to New York City, that is what was voted. The top vote was New York City. I am super excited about it. I've talked to our tour guide in New York and the company that we are using. They are excited to not only to have you guys to come, but to gain your business because that is one thing about a fam. When we use a vendor and they are extending their services to us, they are looking for the agents to use their services too. But y'all know I would not use somebody or I would not recommend somebody who I wouldn't personally use. And this company I've probably used now 3 or 4 times for New York. They've always been on time. They are great. And our tour guide, his name is Ryan, has been super amazing. He was born and raised in New York City. He's in his 30s, but born and raised there, and he is a New York historian. And some of the stuff he told us, we were like, wait, what? So when y'all hear the stories about us in New York, it is going to be super dope. So we are dropping that for you guys tonight. We are talking about 3 things tonight. Why defining your niche matters. Why building your community is essential, and why setting clear goals impact your revenue. Okay, we're talking about those 3 things. For those of you brand new, and I was just saying, hey to Sheila, hey Katrina, no, Sharice. I was saying hi to Sharice and was saying that I think this is her first time with us and maybe Tabitha. But I am Dacia and I am the founder of Ladies and Luggage Travel Group, which I had to close this past October. And like I told the ladies about 2 weeks ago, that is probably one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. But as a business owner, we learned so many things. I've been in the travel industry for 12 years now and brought that business from a hobby to a multi-million dollar travel company in that 10-year time frame. Actually, not even a 10-year time frame. The first from Ladies and Luggage started in 2015 of April. So from April 2015 to our first trip, which was July 2016 to Cincinnati Music Festival, we took 48 people to Cincinnati on a bus from Chicago to Cincinnati. That was our first trip. Our second trip was to Dubai that very same year. That was our first international trip. We began to grow slowly but surely from 2016 through 2019. We made revenue. We were doing great. We were in the six figures, the low sixes, anywhere from 100,000 to I think in 2019, 2020, we were around 260,000. No, take that back. 198,000 to be exact for 2019. And then 2020, of course, we all know what happened in 2020 was the pandemic. And then in that time is when I really was able to build a community for Ladies and Luggage. We started doing outside of the box things. We started doing virtual events like crazy. When I say virtual events, I mean we had a Mother's Day tea. We did uh, we did like happy hours where we hired a DJ to come on and play music and we would like just dance and talk and chat on Zoom, y'all, because y'all know Zoom really became popular in 2020 during the pandemic. So we did those things and that's when we really started building our community. We knew our niche, we knew who our community was, but we were reaching them, but not the way we started reaching them in the pandemic. And once that started and the community really, really started growing, I came up with a process on how to continue to get in front of them. And we grew our Facebook group from about 2,400 to 27,000 in about a year, maybe a year and a half. But that is because we really pinned down our niche. We really, I really knew how to talk to them and I knew what to do to get them to convert. And so, and that is what got us from, 2019 making 198,000 for the year to 2022 ending the year at 1.9 million and then following year 3.4 million, and up. So I really got in there, knew the niche, knew who we were talking to, knew how to build that community, and our community continues to build. Even after we closed, I literally had someone to message me yesterday and was like, girl, first of all, when are you coming back? Because this is ghetto and I don't have no trips planned for this year. But can you plan a trip for me, my friends? So even though it was a really, really, really tough time for me personally, like I told the ladies again, like it was not probably, it was the worst thing I've ever, the worst decision I ever had to make. But I also told them that I had to make that decision because I had a business partner for the entire time. From the inception of Ladies and Luggage. And I was the front of the house. Like you have the restaurant, you have the front of the house and the back of the house. I was the front of the house. I was the one on the Zoom calls. I was the one, curating the experiences. I was the one hosting most of the trips until we started having trip hosts. I was that person that was out front. I was the person who was bringing in the community and the business partner was on the back end. And I did not, admittedly, I did not go on the back end frequently to see what was going on. And so, all my fault because as a business owner, period, you do not want to be a solopreneur. And we talked about this last week too. You do not want to be a solopreneur because I will tell you that you will not not may not. You will not reach seven figures. You will not scale to the heights that most of us want to exceed in our business. So that's seven figures and beyond without a team. But what I do want you to know that even, whatever the team is doing, if you have a business partner, whatever is going on, you need to know every aspect of the business. I had no idea because when they were having financial calls, I was having Zoom calls. I was out there reaching clients. I was out there talking to the people. I was out there live every day at lunchtime, ensuring that we were building and continuing to build this community. So I didn't make time for those type of things, but we need to make sure again as business owners that we are doing those things, that we are making sure if even if you don't know the full story or full thing that is going on, you need to have access. I didn't know till my business partner was gone that I didn't have access to certain things. So we just need to make sure that we're keeping up with those things. And so, yeah. Okay. So let's start out first with why defining your niche matters. Y'all know if you've ever experienced being on the Zoom with me before, I do not come without my notes because if I do not have my notes, it's a done deal. It's a done deal. So I have to keep my notes, okay? So why defining your niche matters, okay? Many agents try to serve everyone and end up serving no one. I don't know if that's anyone's story because let me tell you, in the beginning, we did groups. We were like, we're going to take FITs. We're going to do groups. Anybody who contact us, we booking them. But guess what? You're spreading yourself thin. You look scattered and people are like, oh, she's just a travel agent. That's just my travel agent. Like, we have to make sure that we are always presenting ourselves as the expert because that is what people are looking for. The people who we are looking for, the people who you are looking for that want to spend and that will, because listen to me, people will spend the money. No matter how many people you've gotten that say, oh, that's too expensive. No, we had clients that literally went to the what's the Lordy G's, I can't even think of the opulence. We call it the opulence trip. What is the name of the train ride? The Venice Express train. Okay.
Orient,
Child, listen, we had clients.
Orient Express.
Yes, they just went in July. $12,000 for the Grand Suite. People will spend the money. People will spend the money. People were spending $8,000 on rooms that had bunk beds, but they wanted the experience. They wanted the experience. And I think it was 28 people that went on that particular trip. So people will spend the money. So you don't have to spread yourself thin, but you have to get in the trenches and find your niche. Okay. Be clear. Be clear on your niche. Be the go-to expert in your niche, making your market easier and more targeted. And having a niche gives you credibility because our niche was and still today is they ain't coming, sis, leave them. Because we served women, average age 47, that had children that were teenagers to adults, some with grandchildren, smaller grandchildren, professionals that loved music, wine, travel, of course, reading. They were Christian women and they love meeting new people. So those are the people we talk to. We use verbiage to get directly to those people. You can't just say anything to those type of people because someone who has a discretionary income that can spend $12,000 on a trip, yeah, they don't want to hear certain words. They don't want to hear discount. They don't want to hear what's its words? We didn't use discount. We didn't use save.
Affordable.
We didn't use, it's like it's just so many like
Budget
budget.
sale.
No, no, no. They do not want to hear those words because they like, oh, this is gonna be at the La Quinta. I'm not interested. Now, on the flip side of that, those same clients that's gonna pay $12,000 would go with us to a concert and stay at a La Quinta because they knew if we stayed at a La Quinta, it was a nicer La Quinta, and we were going for a concert for the weekend, and it really we wasn't sleeping. We were partying for 2 days, and we were out. So they were okay with the La Quinta for that weekend concert. If we did that, that was a Cincinnati thing. We didn't do it any other place but Cincinnati, and we did Cincinnati for either 4 or 5 years bus from Chicago. But other than that, I'm trying to see if we said La Quinta any other place. I do not think so, but we would definitely do a La Quinta, and we had a contract with a really really nice La Quinta in for Cincinnati. So, but you have to know your people and what they would do. We knew that our people love music, and they would go to a La Quinta for a weekend concert, but you're not taking them to a La Quinta in the Maldives, and you're not taking them to a La Quinta in Dubai, even though they don't have a La Quinta in Dubai. So just know your people and know your niche. Okay. Any questions about that? No? Okay. And why building a community is essential. And like I was explaining to you guys, we built a community starting at about 2,400 people and took that to 27,000 people in our Facebook community in less than 2 years. With the help of not just engaging with them, if you guys, anybody on here that knows me knows that I am a live queen. I will go live every day, 2, 3 times a day. Did not care. People be like, oh, you be on live. Guess what? Even if nobody joined, and that was in the beginning, even if nobody joined, I knew they were there because I will follow the data. That's another thing. I am a data queen. I am going to follow the data. I am going to go back on the back end and look how many minutes, how many seconds, when did they click, when did they click off. I'm looking at those things because you can see those things, especially in your Facebook page. Even on like you're doing Zoom meetings and things like that, you can go back and see how many minutes people on average watched or stayed onto your Zoom because I did a lot of Zooms for our clients too. We took it off of Facebook so much because people wanted not privacy, but they wanted to feel like they were important. So when we were on Zoom, we talking to our girls. We ain't talking to everybody, all 27,000 people in the Facebook group, and they felt important because we're gonna kiki about some stuff that the people on the Facebook group don't know, right? So them being on Zoom was like secret squirrel. It was a secret society for them, for us to get on Zoom, and we got on Zoom frequently. And Zoom is one of the things that helped us to go from 2,400 to 27,000 in our Facebook group. We did grow our Instagram. I think when we started our Instagram, we were probably about the same as well. And we went to about 10, 11,000, maybe 12,000 in on our Instagram page. I never really got into TikTok until toward the end because TikTok is kind of new and I thought it was for the younger people, but now it's kind of changing and they're looking for us on TikTok. When we first started, we really, really wanted to be on YouTube and we would do YouTube videos and we wanted them to be perfect. So we would rehearse. We would make sure we didn't say we would make sure we didn't smack our lips. We would make sure we would do all of the things perfectly. And it irritated me. I hated doing it. But when I was going live and I was on Zoom and we were in our spaces where we talk, yeah, smacking girl, the slant, all Ebonics, we used it and they loved it because they want you to be authentically you. This is how you will build a community. You have to be authentically you. You can't go out and script to be someone else. Do you need to have notes? You do. Because if you don't, you'll be all over the board. You don't know what you're talking about. Y'all done got on this Zoom and there should always be a call to action. even if you're just chit-chatting on Zoom, even if you live on, on Facebook or Instagram, there should be a call to action. So you have to have that call to action in there somewhere. So you need to have your notes. But you definitely want to be authentically you, because that is what people are looking for. Authenticity. Okay. Um, on top of, once we really built that community, like I said, 27,000 on in our Facebook group. We were probably around 25,000 on our Facebook page and around 10, 11,000 in Instagram. I had this amazing idea to start a um communities in different cities. So when I closed in October, we were at 16 cities. And when I say at 16 cities, we had 16 cities of women. We were probably around 1,600 women across all 16 cities, where they would have either once a month, twice a month, where they would meet up for brunch, go bowling, go to the theater. They go on wine tastings. They did so many things. Go to museums and things like that, and build communities in their local areas, which also helped us because now these people have roommates. You don't have to worry about roommate matching, which we offered, and we would just room in with anyone. But if they're in their local community and they didn't sit and have lunch, brunch, dinner, met at someone's house because they've done that before, for a night, a game night, and things like that, now they have their own roommates, and now they're going to be discussing amongst themselves which trips you going on, because I want to go on a trip with you. Okay. And then we were able to sell merchandise, jackets, t-shirts. We had events just for those communities. It had a whole different name, but building those communities is something that you really want to sit down and strategize and think about. Of course, you can't have the smaller groups until you really kind of build your base and you know where you can plant these groups at, because we knew our biggest base always was in Chicagoland because that's where we started. And then we had Detroit and New York and Houston and Dallas. We had LA, San Francisco, um, Memphis, Nashville. And then sometimes I would just decide to pop up at one of the cities and go to one of their events. And listen, once you build these communities, you don't think so, and you may not be trying to, and that you are a celebrity. Let me tell you, because I used to be like, they like, oh my God, they see. I'm like, girl, I just was talking to you on Zoom. But these people really trust you. If I said, listen, this crossbody bag is something that you really need to travel internationally with, I would use Amazon, and we did a Aunties in Paris in July 2023. Aunties in Paris, July 2023. And so during one of our Zoom calls, I showed them my crossbody bag that I had purchased. I think it's Travel On. And it had like these different things where people could not get into your bag. I hosted the trip. Like I said, I hosted probably 90% of the trip, myself and my husband. I went on this one by myself. Y'all, when we got to Paris, if not all of the ladies had that bag and they used my Amazon link, if not all of the ladies, I think maybe only 2 or 3 of them out of 32 did not have it. They all had the purse in different colors. I was like, oh, I never saw that. Like, they listen, they take your advice because they feel like you're the expert. And that's what they want. That's what they are looking for. We did end up having 2 different markets. We had our 47 average up to about 55. And then we got our community that was 60 plus, which we named our aunties. So we had those 2 different markets, and they were the same but different. The same but different. Those aunties are the ones that drove me crazy. Okay. People buy from people. People buy from people. So they're not looking to buy from your travel company. They're looking to buy from you. They're looking to buy from the expert. So if you are positioning yourself as the expert, they are buying from you. They're buying from you. I cannot tell you guys how many times, because like I said, I was in the front of the house. If my business partner so happened to come on a trip, they'd be like, who is that? They did not know her. They were buying because I position myself as an expert. I position myself as an expert. And then on the flip side of that, when I decided to close, they didn't care who was on the front. They didn't care who what side was on. They only knew me. Oh, that was the good and the bad. They only knew me when I decided to close. Okay. Your community keeps your clients engaged. Even newbies, like literally, if I never wanted to answer a question in that Facebook group, I never had to. I never had to answer any questions in the Facebook group if I did not want to, because that community made sure that anybody who asked any question, they answered it. And if it was something that they did not know, they would reach out to me and then be like, oh, let me see if they said, and then they'll go back and they'll tell them what it is. I have to do a whole lot of heavy lifting, because your community, when you build that community that trusts you, they listen to everything you say and they're going to build up the community with you. Okay? And a happy community refers people. Any questions on that part? Any questions? Okay. And then the last topic is why setting clear goals impacts your revenue. We did touch on this a little bit last week about you guys setting goals for your year, for your month, for your quarters, for your week, for your days. You want to get down to how much revenue do I want to bring in every day? You want to get that intricate, because then when you get down to the day, that's when you know if you see 3 days in a row, 5 days in a row, you have not reached your goal. You then know I need to go back to the drawing board to see what's going on. So this is why we can't just, like what they say, name it and claim it. Oh, I want to make 100,000. Like, how? Are we doing this in a quarter? Are we doing this in a year? What is the strategy behind this? What type of impact? And I asked this question in the group the other day. What type of impact are you looking to leave on the people that you serve? Because we are serving our community. We are serving our community. And the only way you are going to sell is if you impact. So how are you impacting them? So if you say you want to make $100,000, and again, when I'm talking these numbers, I'm talking about what you want to walk away with, what you want your profits to be. Let's stop talking about what the sales, how much sales you want to make, because you make $100,000 in sales on average, that's $10,000 in commission, if we're looking at a 10% mark. And how many of you guys are in the business to say, this has got to be, this I want to be my retirement. This is what I want to do when I'm done with my job, or I want to leave my job because I know I can make XYZ amount of money a month to, subsidize my income, or I need to replace my income so that I can leave my job. Yes. And $10,000 a year ain't gonna cut it. So you saying that you want to make $100,000 a year As my grandkid used to say when he was younger, that ain't no enough. That ain't no enough. $400,000 a year ain't no enough. Because if we are looking on a 10% markup, and again, we talked last week about how many people are nervous and like, oh my God, I cannot add $1,000 markup to a client's booking. Because why? Why can't you? Why can't you? Do you feel like you're not the expert? Why can you not add $1,000 on to an international trip? Now um I can see a Caribbean trip, maybe not, but we have um we did a complete buyout of a resort for 2 weeks in Jamaica, 2022. Yes, I think it was 2022. So we did a resort in Negril. We did right. It was 2022 because I did the FAM in 2021. So we did a complete buyout for 2 weeks in 2022 at a hotel in Negril. We were able to add $1,000 markup per person because of the value we added. It was our resort for 2 whole weeks. We had our own DJ. We were able to do anything we wanted to do on the resort. We brought Howard Hewitt. He performed. We had like people slept in the pool overnight. They didn't go there. They didn't make it to their rooms. So like we were able to add value that allowed us to add $1,000 per person. And it was like a drop in the bucket to them because they were like, oh my God, the resort is amazing. It's only us. It's about to be dope. You add that value, they will come and they will pay. Okay. So you have to sit down and be real with yourself about your revenue goals. So that's one thing I want to talk about in the group this week. I want people to begin posting what their revenue goals are in the group. Sit down and think about it. And then let us know in the group. And don't forget that we talked about reverse engineering. Reverse engineering that, because if you're saying, and let's say $400,000 is what you want to make, and you reverse engineer that from the back to the front to figure out what you need to do to make that 400,000. Not, I need to have this many, like going from here, like what kind of bookings can I have? No, I want to make $400,000, so I need to do this. And then you break it down from back to the front. And we'll do a complete breakdown in our upcoming webinar that is going to be on April 17th. Okay. Any questions? Any questions?
Stacia, I know you had talked earlier about how you grew your community, and we had talked about just briefly on the last call, and you had mentioned about the evergreen, something about evergreen that you did.
Evergreen ad. Mm-hmm. So what an evergreen ad is, it is a Facebook ad that funnels people to your group. So you have them to fill out a form, and once the form is complete, when they have the thank you page on there, that thank you page sends them to your Facebook group. That's how a lot of our people got into our Facebook group, because we set up an ad. Do y'all hear me? $3 per day. $3 per day. That ad ran from 2021 to 2024. And we never cut it off. They filled out a form. The thank you page pop up. The Facebook group link was in there. They filled out a form because in the ad, we changed the content a few times. Um, both times were a video, but you can kind of do an A/B split to see if a photo works or a video works. You now know that you can create videos in Canva. So you can go and create you a travel video in Canva and kind of maybe do or on your phone and kind of do some voiceover work in there. And run that ad. Y'all, we spend more than that on Starbucks, on breakfast, on lunch. My last 2 months, I have been on a we got food at home binge because I realized that I was spending probably $100 or more per week buying lunch. No, girl, you got food in the house. No, you you spend $100 a month on more than face on more than so doing that. What if you do not have a traditional group? I focus on destination weddings. Would my process for reverse engineering be different? I don't think so, because you still are saying to yourself, I want to make XYZ amount of money this year doing destination weddings. So now you're going to say to yourself, where do I need to be to get these clients? Do I need to be at wedding expos? Do I need to be um, at different vendor events that have brides and grooms coming in? You know how they have all different conferences. How many referrals do I need to get? Where are these clients coming from? And where do I need to be? Do I need to create ads on Facebook that says, I am a destination wedding planner? Do you have videos from past clients that say, hey, Natasha booked, or whatever the name of your business is, booked an amazing destination wedding for me and my now husband last year, and have some kind of B-roll in the background showing the destination, showing the beach, showing the this. Reach out to her if you're looking to have. So what do you need to do? Your goal, your 400,000, and how you need to get there. How many expos should I be doing a year? When you go to this expo, what is your goal? Is your goal to get people to sign up for a consultation, or is your goal to get leads? Because then if you're saying whichever one, you're saying, now I'm gonna get these leads, and then how many of these people, how many leads do I need to have? And how am I going to get these people from cold to sold? So it's still the reverse engineer. Okay. How am I getting these people from cold to sold? Any other questions? These little kids and got my nose running, all kind of crazy stuff. Oh, Jesus. New York, I haven't like officially put all the details out, but I am going to shortly, Vicky. And y'all, we only have 10 spots for New York too. We're only gonna have 10 spots for New York. I need to get the link. I think I emailed it to my screen. Yeah, emailed it to myself so I can share it with y'all. Any other questions? I am definitely excited about the webinar coming up on April 17th. I'm going to show you guys a document that really helped us to figure out, get our goals together, that our accountant created for us. The dopest, like the dopest. The dopest thing. And we have been looking for an accountant to do this for us for a very long time. Any other questions? Any questions about defining your niche, building your community, and setting your goals before we talk about New York?
Daisy, on that form, are you talking about like a job form or something like that to fill out and connect to, will the forum be connected to Facebook, or this is like coming out of
So you could do either way. You could do
Keep or
either way.
something?
You could do either way. We used to use ClickFunnels, but you can use if you have Flowdesk, if you have Keep, you can do it that way. And Facebook has forums too. So if you wanted to do Facebook, and I haven't saw, but I heard that soon you'll be able to run ads directly to your group because now currently you can't run ads directly to your group. So we had to reverse engineer getting them to the group by having them fill out that form that then the thank you page for filling out the form took them to the group. But our form was on ClickFunnels. But you could even still use like a Google form. You can use Google form, and then again, that thank you page is where you're going to put in your Facebook group link. Like, thank you for joining our, thank you for being interested in our group. Hey, join our Facebook group here. This is what we do on the Facebook group, blah, blah, blah.
Okay, and the ad, sorry, I'm asking so many questions because I don't know.
Oh,
So is the ad coming from the business page?
Yep, it's coming from the business page because as of right now, you can only run an ad from a page and not a group. So it's coming from your business page, but it's pushing them to your group because people can't really engage with you on your page. They see you posting stuff, they can kind of comment, but in that group, you allow them to be the community. You allow them, like I don't say they had free reign, but we had people who we would give out gifts to. They won prizes for being the most engaged in the group. Like people were very engaged. They posting every day. It was just really engaging. So when you start letting them engage, they can't do that on your page. So in the group, it's very as a space it should be. And then I'll tell you guys too, when you really build your groups up. So we love social media, and then we hate social media. But at the end of the day, these platforms, the only thing that you own are your clients' emails, for real. And we all have seen Facebook, Facebook down, Instagram down, these things down. So having their email is essential, and you should be getting that when you have them fill out that form. Their phone numbers, because if people are like me, 9 times out of 10, I'll check a text before I go on social. And then another thing is there are other platforms. We had kind of started taking our community off of Facebook, and we were on the Mighty Network. Why? Because you don't miss as many posts. Like they won't miss posts on the Mighty Network. There's a new community now that's called Skool, SKOOL. So there's other places once you really build your community up, because people be like, dang, I didn't know that y'all was doing this. I didn't know this was happening. I didn't know this was happening, because sometimes Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, or whatever won't show it. But if you have your community over here too, Facebook is just your little playground, and it's free unless you run ads, and it's not free. But Mighty Network and Skool, I think Mighty Network, I was paying $40 a month, and then Skool, I think it's like $100 a month or something like that. But on those platforms, they will not miss a post. You can go live, you can do courses on Skool. Like, it's really a lot of communities are having those split spaces so that their people will not miss things, and it's a lot more engaging.
Okay, thank you for that.
Yeah, Mighty Network, we used for a year, a little over a year. We used Mighty Network, and absolutely loved it. You can just pop on and go live. Once you are done with live, the video goes away. Okay. Sometimes I want that. Sometimes I didn't like it, but sometimes I just wanted to come on and see who was on, pop on, boom, boom. the different cities had their own personal page or community. They would talk to each other. And then we had one community for everybody. So if New York was having a brunch, Chicago didn't have to hear about it. They could just talk about their brunch in the New York chat and just for New York people. You know, it was really cool. It was really cool. Mighty Network. And I'm personally part of a couple of school groups with coaches and things like that.
So on those different communities in the Mighty Network that you mentioned, were those separate from the monthly payment, or that was part of the monthly fee as well to have different,
Oh,
like New
sorry.
York had a group, or Chicago or whoever had their own little special group?
No, you can have as many as you wanted. You can have as many as you want. The different prices were based on if you were, because you can have a paid membership. So if you want to have a paid membership because you wanted to have a group just specifically for, like maybe you have a group going to Cancun and you want to put them on um Mighty Network, and so you all can talk about the trip. Um, you can put them in that paid membership part. So your fee would be higher per month if you wanted to have a paid membership. So it was just like different tiers that way. Any other questions? Okay, so tell me one thing about what I talked about tonight that really resonated with you. And where do you feel challenged? Those two questions. What resonated and where do you feel challenged? Everybody else speaking? Growing this community? Yes. Mm-hmm. Okay. Raza says she still needs to build her community. And let me tell you, go ahead.
I wanted to come off of mic. This is Tabitha. I wanted
Mhm.
to come off mic real quick. In the beginning, when I joined into the Zoom, you had talked about niching down a little bit more because and you can't be a solopreneur. I find myself like that, and I think right now I am very busy, but it's like I'm reaching a burnout busy. And so I'm like, okay, what do I do now? I mean, clients are coming. That's not a problem. But when I see another like request come in, I'm like,
Yeah, and it gets that way because then, were you on the call last week?
I was.
Okay, when we talked about doing $20 an hour tasks, that'll make you feel burned out.
Yeah.
It will because
Mhm.
you like, baby, I don't want to see another email. I don't want to respond to another email that I feel like I've answered 50, 11 times, the same thing. Can I get somebody else to do that? Because then when that's off your plate, then you can go into doing money generating activities. Now you can sit down and strategize and say, wow, last month I had 50 clients. I need to get to 100. Because at this point, you can't think about getting another 50 because you like these 50 to wore me out.
Exactly. That's exactly where I'm
These
at.
50 to wore
Yeah.
me out. I don't want another 50. That's 100. No way. I can't do it.
Yeah.
So,
I did I did have another question in terms of CMR. What CMR did you use or do you use?
CRM, I use several.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm the
I'm
person
not
who,
the only one then.
yes, but pretty much I like to do the research. If you talk to Vicky, I'm going to jump over and I'm going to try this out and then I'm going to come back and be like, listen, check this out. I tried this over here. Let's see what this gonna do. Keep is no, here's the one problem I will say first. In the travel industry, we don't have one thing that we can use for everything. And that's the
Right.
biggest problem that we have.
Mhm.
Right now, there's still not anything out there that can solely do everything we needed to do. I am testing out one new vendor. It's called Squad Trip. Has anybody heard of them? Squad Trip.
I've heard of them.
I've heard of
Okay. So I'm testing Squad Trip out and they have been really good. The one thing I do like about them is number one, they Black owned. Number two, the owner is let's jump on a call. Let me see what you need. Oh, do I need to let's figure out how to take this. You know, they're very approachable and like, hey, I don't know if that's gonna work. I will say too, I like Travel Joy, but in some instances they're like dinosaurs because I'm still trying to figure out why they like Southwest used to be. They don't talk to nobody. They don't play with nobody in the sandbox. You cannot um you can't integrate anything with Travel Joy. Like Facebook and Travel Joy cannot speak. And that was one of the reasons we left Travel Joy is because I need abandoned carts. I need to know if somebody clicked on my site. Once they click on Travel Joy, I need to be able to track. I'm a numbers girl. I need to see how many people clicked on this and who purchased and who didn't. There is Spiffy. Spiffy, I'm not gonna say it's complicated, but then you have to connect it to an email marketing system. You can probably connect it to Flowdesk. Flowdesk is, I remember when Flowdesk first started, we were with them. They did not have segmentation and workflows and automations and all that. They do now. So you probably could connect your Spiffy to your to a Flowdesk, and Flowdesk is not really expensive as far as emails are concerned. They don't like Keep is you add 500 emails, you add $500. No, but almost though. So as far as my favorite, I can't say who my favorite is, but at the moment, it is Squad Trip, and they have some automated emails that already go out as far as onboarding is concerned that you can kind of manipulate. The only thing that they don't have that I did not like is they have abandoned cart, but you don't have access to see it. So they send out abandoned cart emails on your behalf, but you can't see who abandoned the cart. So that was kind of nutball to me. And he was like, well, we took it away because people were saying they didn't want to see it. I'm like, what people? Somebody who don't like money? Because I'm confused as what's happening.
So you
So
like them over Travel Joy?
yes, only because you can put your Facebook pixels. If you run an ad, you can like they can talk to each other. In Travel Joy, nothing talks to Travel Joy. You lose once a customer. If you have a Facebook ad and it's going to a particular trip, once the person clicks that trip, you lose them. You don't know if you would have to do a lot of manual work figuring out if they booked or if they didn't. When on other CRMs, other email marketing, if they didn't book, they go into this bucket. And if they did, it goes to, this bucket. And so you're able to say, hey, we see you were interested in this trip. Automated email goes out because they didn't book. Where on the reverse side, if they did book, they go on another side and they don't have to get an email saying, hey, this trip is out because they're on this side. But yeah, Travel Joy does not speak to anybody. That's the one thing about them that I do not like. And that's a huge disadvantage for anyone who is trying to set goals, because then you can't really follow if you're reaching your goals and if and when you need to pivot. You can only see, oh, I made this amount of money, but a lot of people are looking at my Hawaii trip, but why aren't they booking? Because you don't know if they're looking at it or not.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. Well,
Mhm.
Squad Trip, another thing that they do, I seen, I received an email that they added. They have several different payment options, and I
They
like
do.
that as well.
They
Even
do.
financing.
They
So
do. They
that
have.
makes it a
Mhm.
big difference.
They do. They have Afterpay. You can do Amazon Pay, Google Pay. I use them now because I still do have clients. Um, but I do use them now. And don't be afraid and think that you can't get a because people have made you afraid, think you can't get a Stripe account. You can in the travel space. You
Mhm.
absolutely can.
Okay, thank you again.
Mhm. I think I got.
Dacia, then with Squad Trip though, do they have, I know they have it where you can, where the client can pay like in their little customer portal, but wasn't the database wasn't complete? Was it like they would have to do that every trip? You have to like re-register every trip? It wasn't like a customer database where you can house your clients?
So from what I see, no.
Right, okay.
Mm-mm.
No, I
It's
liked it. I was actually looking at it myself, but I didn't think they had that piece of it.
not yet, but they are working on that, and they are working on bringing that
Mhm.
abandoned cart thing back because I just was like, now who told you they don't want to know who abandoned their cart? They don't like money, sir. They playing with you. Put it back. So yeah. Any other questions? Or did I say? Oh, let me see. Let's see. I'll go back to the answers. Setting clear goals, Katrina said, building community. Challenge is learning technology and how to attach form links, landing page, etc. I get it done, but it takes forever. Tammy, that's called $20 an hour task.
That's
Great.
right.
If you don't get you a Filipino or somebody to do this,
Yeah, I feel you.
yes, ma'am. And you ain't got to worry about it. You tell them, hey, this is what I need, and I need it done in 3 days. Boom. They'll do it. I'm telling you. Might not be on the same time zone, but they gonna get that work done and they gonna get it done for you and you ain't got to worry about it. Done and over with. Not able to scale as solo, need a team. Yeah, Sheila, for sure. Build a team. I'm telling y'all, we could not move from here to here without a team. Because in the beginning, let's go back a little bit. And I guess I could say I was a solopreneur. Even though I had a business partner, my business partner had a job. And so I have worked from home since 2005. Had a daycare for I don't even know how many years. So 14, 15, somewhere in there. Um, so I've worked from home since 2005. So working all day with vendors, clients, emails, phone calls, all those things I did. And so in the evening, whatever residual things that needed to be done on the financial side, because there was no talking to vendors, clients, and this in the middle of the night. Okay. So I pretty much was a solopreneur. But when it came to like, okay, we can't crack this 200, 300, $400,000 line. Why? But when I said we can't do this without a team, and we got a team, and now I can start delegating because let me tell y'all, I did. If you ever saw Ladies Luggage email campaign, social media, trips curated, anything you ever saw that was Ladies and Luggage before the team, me. I was the marketing expert, all of it, me. Like Tabitha said, I was burnt out. But when I got a team, I'm like, oh, everybody gonna have their own lane. you're gonna do this, you're gonna do this, you're gonna do this, you're gonna do this. And that's how we were able to quickly scale because there was people who can get in their lane and do their thing. And I could just go back and say, this is where these are the goals. This is how we got to get there. Let's go. Okay. Where are you finding your VAs? So honestly, I can say I never had a VA. I went from there was a company. Does anybody remember? I think it was called Taylor something. There was a
Taylor
company.
Assistant Services.
Yes. So they were specifically for travel professionals. They would hire out services to us for travel professionals. So there were people who knew how to use Keep. There were people who knew how to use Travel Joy and other different platforms. We started with them when they first opened up. And they gave us one person. Her name was Madison. And what had happened was when our contract was up, we was like, so we slid in her DMs and said, girl, don't you want to just come work for us? Because at this point, and she did. And she was amazing. And she ran ladies and luggage. Like for real, she did. They tried to sue her, y'all, but they was playing with the wrong one. They tried to sue her, say that she stole a client from them or whatever. Um, I'm nervous to make my VA a Facebook admin. They are moderators, but I have to approve all posts. So why are you afraid? Because you think somebody's gonna hack or something?
Um, I was reading that if you're the admin, then that person can pretty much close down the group or they could close me out even. And so I didn't want to give them too much power, but I know I need help with posting and things like that. I want to try to give them the quote unquote menial tasks. I hate to use that term, but stuff that I don't have to do so that I can be freed up, as you said, to try to make money making moves. But, it might be midnight and then Facebook will finally send me something that says you need to approve this. And I'm like, well, damn, they already put this in hours ago.
So so your VAs are out of the country now?
Yes.
Let me think about ways to see how you can get around doing that. Um, because like I said, I've never had a VA. So anybody that was, but on the back end, I'm trying to look on the back end, if you put an admin, you can like say what you want to allow them to do.
In
Yeah,
Facebook?
you can do you
Oh.
can do like editor and not be an admin. You can be an editor and not have to be
Excuse me.
and not have to be approved. But you don't have admin rights. So yeah, just go in the back end and like play around with it because there are levels where you can have your post approved, but you don't have to have access to everything.
Okay, thanks.
Mm-hmm. I think it's called Tailored Services, Tabitha.
Tailored Assistant Services.
Yeah, they changed their name.
Oh, they did? Okay.
You got to look on there and see, cause yeah, I think they tried to sue Madison. Yeah.
Oh, okay, thank you. Sorry.
Mm-hmm. Terry says I have such trust issues. Um, yeah, once you get the right person, you won't. Because let me tell you something, Madison still knows all the passwords to everything, and I'm not. Mm-mm, and we closed. I might text her and be like, "Girl, what was the password to this so and so so and so?" Cause listen, take it over, honey, because I don't want to do it no more. I don't want to do it. Okay. I need help with my email marketing. This is my struggle. So this is another area where you need to hire someone or get someone to create. How many of y'all use ChatGPT? Put a one in the chat if you use ChatGPT. A paid version. Listen here. You go in ChatGPT and you tell ChatGPT, I have a trip to Timbuktu. Here's the information. If you have a itinerary, whatever, here's the information for the trip. I need to create 7 onboarding emails, blah, 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 blah. If you are not ready to hire somebody, let ChatGPT be your assistant. Get those emails, schedule them out, take an hour or two on an off day and get those things out. Get those, and then once it really starts to know you, get those things out. Upload that itinerary and just get it going until you are ready to pull the trigger on getting someone to do it. Like I said, I did all of it before myself. Onboarding emails. The emails are one of the things that will hold you back because you need onboarding emails, you need nurture emails, you need welcome emails, you need interest emails, you need abandoned cart emails, email upon email upon email. Because honest to God's truth, email sell the trips. Email marketing sell your trips. Once you have done the work, once you have niched down, once you have built that community, because like I said, I'm gonna teach y'all this, the 3 Ps, prime, poll, purchase. Listen, it will work every single time. Prime, poll, purchase, that's gonna be the challenge in May. Prime, poll, purchase. Once you get that, it's rinse and repeat. Next, rinse and repeat. Next. Any other questions? Now I'm going to get to our New York trip. I talked about it on the front end. I know a lot of you were not here on the front end, but New York City won for our very first FAM. It is going to be September 12th through the 16th. I will send the hotel information out for you guys, but again, September 12th through 16th, we will be exploring New York City. We have an amazing tour guide, amazing tour company. We will have a welcome dinner and network. Before the trip even starts, we will have a pre-trip session. You guys know we're going in September. If you are thinking of even selling New York for Black Friday or things like that, then you need to be at this pre-session so you can get this on your schedule and all of your emails and everything already set up before we even go. Okay, so we'll have a pre-trip session for people who either want to sell us Black Friday or sell while we are traveling. That can be done as well. Sell while we are traveling. We will have someone there taking photos and video content that you guys will have access to. You will get access to photos and videos to use to sell your own New York trip. Of course, you'll have free time to explore New York. Guided tours, we're going to go to Statue of Liberty. We're going to go to Ellis Island. A lot of people go to New York and don't experience that. And let me tell you something. Most times when people go to New York, they want to go there. I don't know why we go and don't go. I went the first time in 2019 and it was amazing. So going to the Statue of Liberty, not just, going like, oh, it's over there. No, We went up to did we go to the Crown? I think we did. And then we went to Ellis Island, which is where all of the immigrants came in at. If you ever watch Hitch, you know what Ellis Island is, okay? And we are going to the world famous Apollo Theater. The educational tour for the Apollo Theater is top tier. We have all watched Showtime at the Apollo. Going in there and going behind stage and downstairs where some of the legends have stepped foot, and seeing all of that is absolutely amazing. It's probably about an hour and a half tour. It's really amazing. The same guy has been doing this tour for eons, okay? For eons. Um, we are going to have some hotel site visits for sure, because let me just tell y'all, for me, I don't like staying in New York. I do not like staying in New York because number one, their rooms are small. Number two, their rooms are high. You will have clients who may want to stay on that side. You may want to stay on that side. So we'll see a couple of New York hotels, and then I'll show you guys hotels in Jersey, right across the water, that can get you to New York in 10 minutes. And you can pay Jersey prices. We're going to be staying on the Jersey side. And like I said, I'll give you guys hotel information where you can book your hotels and things like that. We'll also have a strategy session in New York so that you guys can ask your questions. If you don't have your stuff already planned out, you have your computer so that we can all help, so I can help you guys get all these things done. There may be someone there that's like, hey, here goes, this is what I did, this is what I'm doing. We can all help each other out. And we'll have our farewell dinner and reflections as well. Okay. We only have 10 spots. Let me see. I was supposed to email myself the doggone link, but let me get it. Hold on. I don't know if I have. I think I did email it to myself. Yeah, these kids got me sniffling out. Little people are just disgusting. Jesus. Give me 1 second. You all can type questions in the chat if you have them while I am getting this. I didn't. Oh, I think I can get it now. Yeah, I got a client texting me now talking about a lady and her boyfriend and broke up, and she want to take somebody else on the trip with her. The saga continues. Lord Jesus. Here is the link. Oh, yeah, Sheila. I will write your information down. Let's see.
Thank you.
Okay, so I just put the link to the New York City fam. I'm thinking we I'm going to plan probably one international trip, but people have been expressing to me that they want to do some domestic fams because we always do Dubai's and the things like that. And of course, we have to go to I told you guys we have to go check out Jermaine's new spot in Puerto Vallarta, which is absolutely amazing. It is definitely a place that if your clients are female, that love girls trips, that love a beach, that loves some good food, that loves a luxury experience, you definitely are going to want to do that, fam. But I think domestic things are going to kind of supersede international because people are, for whatever their I don't say for whatever their reasons. We know what's been going on in the airline industry as far as flying, things like that. So domestic may be a lot easier for people these nowadays, just for a little bit, okay? If I don't normally offer budget trips, should I offer one to pull those? No, ma'am. Nope, nope, nope. You don't want to confuse your audience. You don't want to confuse your audience. So you don't ever, if you don't offer budget trips, you don't offer budget trips. Do not put a budget trip out because your people who are used to going, she's gonna be like, what's she doing? Because I'm not going there. And then the other, I'll give you a story. We had someone who was a part of our host agency one time. She was very audacious and she was, very outspoken. She was really gung-ho about selling the trips. And she just put her feet in the travel industry and she's like, this is what I'm doing. I am going to do, and Tammy and Vicky, I don't know if y'all remember this. She was like, I'm going to do a trip to Miami. It's going to be professional women. I booked 100 rooms and I was like, whoo. She's like, I booked 100 rooms. It's about to go down. I did my flyer. I got this, and that, and the other. She's like, but I can't understand why all these guys, these young guys are calling. And so I was like, let me see your flyer. So she put the flyer in the group. Baby, it was bikinis and booties everywhere. I said, because that's why. You said women 40, oh, like, girl, I'm not looking at that flyer. There is no way. Like, 40 and over, it was booty cheeks. And I'm like, ma'am, the 40 plus professional woman that you're looking to put in those 100 rooms, they're not looking at that flyer. Listen, the people who calling you, they want to see the girls with the booty cheeks. That's where they want to come, ma'am. This is not getting no 40 and older crew. No, ma'am. I just know. I'm like, you have to speak to your audience, okay? And you said 40 plus professional and this and that. That's not it. And she had signed a contract for this 100 rooms, and she didn't know what she was gonna do. But baby, that flyer that she created was not speaking to her people. Nope. Them professional women was like, professional what? What kind of professionals? Because not what she talking about. No. So do not confuse your people and come out like, oh, we finna do this budget friend. They're gonna be like, no, ma'am. No, I'm not interested. I'm not interested. Don't do it. Don't confuse them. Just give value and stand 10 toes down on being the expert in your lane, and they will come. It may take a little while. You may have to do a smaller group, 5, 8, 10 people, to show those people who are on the fence, because they on the fence, y'all. They on the fence. They see your posts. They hear your lives. They see your ads. But most people must have 5 to 7 touch points with your brand before they pull the trigger. They are not going to see your ad one time and join your email list, come to your Zoom, and definitely not about to drop $3,000 and they just saw you on an ad, clicked, heard your video, saw a testimonial, went to your website. They're not doing it. You just have to keep going. You just have to be confident in what you're doing. You just have to continue to be the expert. Your people are there. They are waiting for you to impact their lives. They are waiting for you to impact their lives. They are waiting for you to serve them. But you have to continue to be 10 toes down on who you are authentically. They will come. Okay? And on that note, if there are no more questions, I will see you guys next Tuesday. I'm gonna put the information for the fam trip in the group, and make sure you guys are signing up for the webinar too that's starting on April 17th. Okay? Have a great rest of your week, and I'll talk to y'all next week. Later.
Bye.